This week on No Limits Fishing.
Alright, I'm gonna let him eat it here. He's picking it off. I'm actually gonna put it in the rod holder. He's eating it. Oh, he's getting down. Shark, man, this is pretty cool to be able to get this kind of pull this close to shore. Normally you'd have to go to the Gulf Stream to catch fish this big. Here's some fresh bait for the morning. What on earth have you drugged me out here to do this morning? Well, sometimes you just gotta go fishing, no matter what the conditions are.
Pick a beautiful day for it.
Yeah, we, obviously it's a little bit moist today, but I've actually this week opened, no less than 10,000 fan letters and mails, asking for us to please go fishing and catch some more fish for our next episode, so I'm feeling tremendous pressure to accommodate our audience.
Our Hollywood producers called and said, it's time to go.
It's time to go fishing. So that one thing about trying to make TV shows out of fishing is, I know, folks watch the show and I watch it, it's fun, it looks like everybody's having a good time, and we are, but something about putting number one, you put a camera on the boat, the fish quit biting. Number two, the weather always goes bad. So it just seems natural that the conditions would be such when we leave today. But what do you think? Well, you got any ideas for today? We need to catch something.
I guess you just kind of, it's like my father used to say when we go camping out on the beach. He says, the sand is your friend.
Right.
It is what it is. The rain is our friend today.
The fish are already wet, right?
Just accept what it is. Go for it. Fish are wet. Ain't gonna affect anything there, but I don't know. I mean, mid or early August here. Maybe big sharks on the beach.
August is Shark Month on the Discovery Channel.
That's right, and actually Sharknado just came out.
Oh yeah, I saw. I actually tuned across that. That was
we might actually see something like that today.
Did you watch a minute of that?
I haven't seen it yet,
thing I've ever seen.
But anyways, I guess we gotta do sharks. We end up offshore, maybe some bottom fishing. I don't know. I think we just need to get out there on the ocean and see what we're dealing with and make our decision from there.
Yeah. A lot of folks put together specific plans. I think that's actually a problem people have with fishing is they say we're going to do this, and they stick right to it. But you've got to be flexible in your fish and be able to adjust to the conditions.
Does that explain why we got 74 rods on the boat today?
Exactly. We look like a porcupine. We've got a rod in every rod holder. It could be a sea bass. It could be a blue marlin, but something's going to get caught today.
All right.
So let's go fishing, man.
Let's do it. Well, have we stalled long enough?
Yeah, is that my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich?
That's it.
All right, man. I'm a little moist. Let's, hey, before we go, let's take a quick look at our radar on the boat. One of the features that we have on board the boat, our Simrad Electronics, is what they call Sirius XM weather, satellite weather. So if you get Sirius satellite radio in your car, we actually have that same function, but they have a Mariner's version that shows you the storms and such. So let's take a quick look here and see if you hop on board the boat. Take a look right here, Barrett.
I venture to say it's probably raining.
I'd say there's a fair chance that it might rain. We are the black boat right here in the middle. You can almost see the coastline except for all the rain covering it. The little lightning bolts do actually mean that it's lightning.
I thought that's where the fish were.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, right. The fish are in all the little red lightning bolts here.
Yeah, and the yellow is sunshine, right?
And the yellow is sunshine. But no, it's actually very useful to us. We are here, everything is moving this way. We're gonna go fish and hope that this, clear, the blue, is coming over us. We're watching this right here. So if you're out there and you see stuff like that, that would probably be a sign you might want to watch what you're doing. Safety is important, of course. You can see it actually puts little arrows. It kind of gives you a direction of the storms here. So these storms look to be moving in this general direction. They may actually pass to the west of us, but we are likely going to be fishing in this general area here, which is covered in rain now. And would you say it's raining? Is that accurate?
Yeah, the forecast I've got right now is fairly wet.
Yeah,
rain.
I did watch the weather last night, and they were calling for a 60% chance of rain today.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with 100%.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this is a cool tool, that SiriusXM weather on the Simrad. You can get it on all different brands, but you know, we're gonna try to utilize that and try to catch that gap and see if we can go catch something. We need to go look at the ocean and see what we got.
Yep. No Limits Fishing is brought to you by... There's no better place than the one you call home. It's where memories are made and futures are planned. Doesn't your home deserve the right protection? Stop by or call Allstate agent Rusty Russ at 910-754-6596 to talk about home insurance today and let the good life in.
Yeti coolers are built to take the rugged abuse that comes with the way we work and play. These grizzly-proof ice chests are virtually indestructible. With thicker walls, more than twice the insulation, they outperform the competition. And keeping things cold is what Yeti Cooler is all about. Yeti Coolers. Wildly stronger, keep ice longer. Marine Service Center of Little River, offering sales and service for Yamaha, Contender, Pathfinder, Hughes, Maverick, Carolina Skiff, and other top-of-the-line brands. Visit us online or off Highway 9 outside of Little River.
Fulford Heating and AC is a third-generation family-owned company going on our 40th year servicing Brunswick County. We have been voted Brunswick County's best HVAC company 5 years running and tops in customer service. Fulford Heating and AC has been selling warmer winters and cool summers since 1974. Now, back to more No Limits Fishing.
Alright, so in a lot of our shows, catching live bait is an important piece of the puzzle, and our menhaden that school up and down the beach are one of those key ingredients, or live bait that's typically you can catch in good numbers. But that is actually a big mystery, or can be a difficult part, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with it, catching your bait on the beach. And when the conditions are adverse, such as they are today, we have cloud cover, which that makes the bait flip less. It'll come to the top less often when it's cloudy, so you won't be able to see them as well. You also can't see the actual color changes in the water as well from the bait. And also, you can tell from the rocking that we've got some swell, we've got some sea. We've got about 10 to 15 knots of wind, but it's been rough, so we've got some pretty good rollers coming in. And to add to that, the bait is actually holding fairly shallow right now, so it looks like to be in less than 10 foot. And so this is where you have to be really careful, number one, that you don't wind up sitting on the beach after trying to catch bait. But what you want to do, there's a two-person mission. You got a net man and you got a driver. The driver's job is to position the boat exactly parallel with the wind and sea, stern to the sea, so that the boat won't rock side to side as bad. And then you point the boat right at the fish. You get the swell behind you. You watch for swells coming in, like here's a big one rolling over right now. You watch the swells and you try to come in right behind the swell. You throw your net, and then you've got to start backing out, and you need to watch behind you because you can get hit hard from a breaking wave behind you. So it's something that can be done, sometimes has to be done, but you need to err precaution and be sure that you are aware of what's going on around you. So let's see if we can catch some of the bait. It is not flipping good. It is here. There are pelicans. It's shallow. Hopefully we'll end up with somebody living right here. one other thing we're doing right here is I'm having Bear cleat this off right now, and I'm gonna turn the boat around and get out of this shallow water before we get caught with a breaker. So that's what we're doing right here. So in honor of Shark Week and given the weather conditions, today we're going to attempt to catch sharks, all right? And a lot of people don't like, you know, they say, oh, we don't want to go mess with sharks, but we have a fishery here off of our coast, which is actually pretty spectacular. We call it the poor man's blue marlin fishing, because if you didn't know where you were and you didn't look at the end result, you know, you might as well be fighting a blue marlin for some of the sharks that we catch in here. One of the main species that we try to catch are black tip sharks. And the black tips, they run, they're actually a sport shark. They run fast, they jump, AKA a blue marlin, just like a blue marlin. But the poor man part comes in. It doesn't take much fuel to get here because we're not very far from the beach. But if you're a swimmer or a beach goer, don't concern yourself with it too much. They roam up and down the beach, but it's a very rare incident to have any problems off of our coast. But the technique is really just like you might imagine shark fishing. We'll be drifting chunks of fresh cut bait and also live bait beside and behind the boat. And we just use a large circle hook like this. And then the leader that we use, we actually use, this is 300-pound mono. And I try to stay away from using wire leader. We found that the sharks are actually a little bit leader shy. They, as you've probably seen on the Discovery Channel, we watch TV, you know, they're aware of electric impulses, and metal puts off electric signals. So we find that the sharks actually steer clear of wire leaders a lot of times. So we use straight mono, try to use real heavy, so that if it does get in their teeth, it pulls through, and then the circle hook gets in the corner of their mouth so that the line is not near them. And then of course also the heavy leader is for the abrasion on their body, because particularly if you get a jumping shark like a black tip or even a spinner, he's gonna rub up against the line, and you need to be using some real heavy leader. So we're gonna tie these on. We're gonna be using 30 to 50-pound tackle, which can be fairly light, just depending. Black tips, we also have black nose sharks. We also see hammerheads, occasionally tigers. But at this point, in these conditions, I just look for anything at this point. Let's bend the rod.
Filleting this fish, filleting them up rather than back. That's for a reason. It's so that the meat will actually.
Other little tool, trick of the game. Balloons are bobbers because we're fishing for big fish. But this is a new little deal that's come out recently. It's called a Balloon Fisher King. And it's a little clip that holds your balloon. What you do, it's got a little spring-loaded clip inside of it, and we just clip it right to our line. So it holds it in place. When you get the fish on, you bring it up. All you have to do is reach out, push the little spring-loaded button, boom, and it pops right off. We actually get to use the same balloon and clip for most of the day, and it doesn't leave, you know, a half a balloon on your line like it does if you tie the line straight on. So it's kind of a cool little thing that's come out, Balloon Fisher King.
I pre-line that bait maybe 50 yards from the boat, first bait in the water. You pick that balloon up, it looked like Jaws carrying a barrel down. Sharks, man, this is pretty cool to be able to get this kind of pull this close to shore. Normally you'd have to go to the Gulf Stream to catch fish this big. But man, this shark hit just immediately and burned it down, came right in the boat, turned around, ran another 50 yards. Alright, talk me through this. What's the game plan here?
Alright, so I'm gonna wire him up here. We want him to be laying submissive here. Let's see if we can get an eye.
I'm still pretty angry, I can tell you that.
Oh! What I'd like to do, depends how big what you got. I'd like to get him up here and get a picture of him, lay him up here on the boat. I'm gonna lip gap him hopefully, or I'll just grab him like a black, like a black bass.
I was gonna ask you, you probably don't want to stick your hand in his mouth, do you? There he is.
A black tip?
It is a black tip, how about that?
So, on your, while we're learning and talking, lessons wiring fish. See that expert technique? I came straight off of the Australian pipeline wiring 1,000-pound black marlin. But that comes from years of actually bluefin tuna fishing, dealing with 500-pounders. But you're wrapping, but I'm always, that fish takes off. I can point my hands right at the fish, and the line will shed right off of it.
Look at that thing. That's a serious shark right there. That's it.
They're meaty though. Look how thick he is across the back.
What is the what are the limits if you wanted to keep one?
I always get this confused. I think they have to be bigger than 54 inches.
That's right.
54. So this one's
Probably a little short, isn't he?
he's close.
Yeah.
In that neighborhood. We'll probably let him go. Unless you want to keep one to try.
I mean, I wouldn't mind trying one, but I don't want to keep him if he's too small. So let's let this one go. Maybe we'll get a bigger one later on. Whoa, got a bite up front. Go, go, go. All right, got another one up front.
All right, I'm gonna let him eat it here. Ticking it off. I'm actually gonna put the rod holder and he's eating it. All right, now I'm gonna engage it. Crank down on it. There he goes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, he's getting down. Oh, he jumped, he's way out there, you'll never see him, but he jumped.
No Limits Fishing is brought to you by... There's no better place than the one you call home. It's where memories are made and futures are planned. Doesn't your home deserve the right protection? Stop by or call Allstate agent Rusty Russ at 910-754-6596 to talk about home insurance today and let the good life in. As a business owner, it's important for you to understand what you're making and what you're spending. At First Bank, we believe education is key to any financial endeavor, and we pride ourselves in collaborating with businesses. Visit localfirstbank.com or stop by a branch for a free business banking review. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Marine Service Center of Little River, offering sales and service for Yamaha, Contender, Pathfinder, Hughes, Maverick, Carolina Skiff, and other top-of-the-line brands. Visit us online or off Highway 9 outside of Little River.
Fulford Heating and AC is a third-generation family-owned company going on our 40th year servicing Brunswick County. We have been voted Brunswick County's best HVAC company 5 years running and tops in customer service. Fulford Heating and AC has been selling warmer winters and cool summers since 1974. Now, back to more No Limits Fishing.
All right, we settled back in there, had a little bit of chaos. They're biting a little bit. We've only put out 2 lines and Barrett caught one. And while we were finishing that one up, this one got bit. This one made a good run. I'm optimistic this might be a pretty good one. While today's sort of been a day of showing new tools and tricks. This little thing I'm using right here, called a rod knob. And it just slides on and off. We just keep them handy, pop them right on the end there. And it works just like a fighting belt. Same principle, obviously, so that you don't bruise yourself, but it's really easy. You don't have to deal with, clipping something around your waist, and that's always such a battle. We actually just keep them, they'll fit right on the bottom of a rod holder on the T-top, and we just stick them up there, and then when we need them, we just hook it right on and go to work. Close, I can see that. There's the fish. Oh, he broke off. Ah, he bit the leader. Hold on, we got another one on there. Got another one right here. That shark. That black tip, I think that was about the best case scenario. There he is. Oh, he's jumping. Oh, he's jumping. Barrett, you know how lucky we got?
Not heartbroken that one got off.
Well, you saw we used the mono leaders and we were lucky to get that one that close. Apparently he had just shaped that one on his teeth a little too long. And fortunately, or unfortunately for me, because I was looking forward to seeing that show, but just before, I mean inches before gaffing, popped the hook off, self-release. But here's another one. I don't think this one's quite as big. Here, man, you do
this. This one's a little bit more reasonable in size, more manageable, I think. This looks like a little small one. Not sure if it's a black nose or a... No, it's a little black tip. This one's small though, probably 30 pounds.
Set up on him. Come help me. Come on, man. Come on, man. I got a shark in my lap. I'm busy. Man, you got to come back here. Yes. In all his glory. We're going to let this one go. Swim away. Welcome back, Captain Barrett. We made it.
Little wet, but no worse for the wear. We went out there and did what we were trying to do.
Yep, we actually we called our shot, made the best of a bad situation. Hopefully we satisfied our hungry, craving viewers to satisfy their appetite for fishing action.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all things considered, pretty strong fishing, really. I mean, we went out there, went out of the inlet, caught bait immediately, went down the beach 10 miles, put the lines out, started catching fish immediately, and it was one after the other, and, you know, big sharks. I mean, a big pool right there, you know, inside of land. That's as good as it's going to get.
The most disappointing thing about the whole thing was that one shark got off right before you got to boat it, because I was really looking forward to you wrestling that shark.
Disappointing for you, not for me. So that was a blessing in disguise. But man, you know, I think we'll probably dry off. But all in all, I consider this one a success.
Good job, sir. Let's go appreciate a warm shower and a hot meal, and then move on to the next adventure.
That's it. Couldn't have been a more appropriate trip to celebrate Shark Week than that one there. The sharks, needless to say, are plentiful out there.
They are. We actually deemed the entire month of August, not just Shark Week. We have Shark Month is August.
Hey man, I'm a fan of shark fishing now. That was something else.
Yeah, we run lots and lots of fishing charters here out of the Ocean Isle Fishing Center, and that is what we do mostly in the month of August, and folks coming, you know, from all over the country to visit Ocean Isle, and not just Ocean Isle, the whole area here on our coast, and you know, more times than not, they say, we want to go out and we want to catch some big fish, and we've never been on the ocean. I hear that time and time again, and you know, if you're inexperienced, you don't have to go very far, and if you want to catch something big,
you don't have to go very far.
You don't have to go very far, and you can catch some big fish, and hey, you can't down it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, shark fishing was definitely an awesome experience. But you know, let's try to talk about some of the other stuff that's going on right now. I hate to say it, but we are in the doldrums of summer. It's hot. The water is hot. People are lazy. Fish are lazy.
Right.
It's making it a little bit tough right now to succeed offshore and inshore, for that matter.
Yeah. Our inshore guides, not to mention we've had a lot of rain too. So our weather's been a bit adverse, and August isn't a better time. But the concept, if whatever that you can apply to your fishing, whether it be inshore or offshore, would be the heat, and thus cool. Fish want to try to cool down and be more comfortable, and the way that they achieve that is depth.
Right.
And so if they're guys that are fishing inshore, if they're flounder fishing or redfish, they're looking for holes or depressions, which would be holding cooler water. For us offshore guys, other than the sharks, which are close, we're doing better now getting offshore into the deeper water. And one thing that we do a lot of in August is actually bottom fishing. In particular, snapper fishing is incredibly good here in August.
That's right. Yeah, the snapper. When we talk about snapper, we're talking about vermilion snapper, or beeliners is another name. Smaller red snapper, and super plentiful off of here in August, September, like you mentioned. They migrate to the area, and you can go out there in 100 to maybe 150 foot of water, anchor up. You know, you'll mark them, and you can just drop down and load the boat up with them.
You can catch good fish, good eating.
Yeah, they are real good eating fish, and you know. Not to focus too much on, you know, right now and how tough things actually are, but you know, moving forward, you can almost see on the horizon fall is out there, so it does give us something to look forward to. But I think before that, it's kind of that transitional period which we always talk about, which is, you know, between summer and fall, or you know, spring and summer, or winter and spring. There's always that transition period, which always offers some unique opportunities.
Yeah. The one of them, which is well known here on the Carolina coast, more so in the upper Outer Banks in this area, but that is the white marlin and sailfish that run off of our coast here. You know, it's deep water fishing. You know, you're fishing in, you know, off the edge of what we call the break, which is 200 plus foot of water, generally 600 foot of water. But they destroy them. I mean, it is a, you know, an internationally known fishery out of Oregon Inlet to fish for these billfish. But those fish definitely are off of our coast here. We just don't have a lot of folks that focus on them here.
It's so far to get into that depth of water, so it's not as easily accessible. But like you said, they are out there, and it's an awesome fishery. I mean, people travel from all over the world to do that right here off our coast. And just like when we go, you know, to Central America to fish for sailfish, it's a similar type deal. It's the idea is you get multiple shots at these, you know, at these billfish.
Right. That's right.
And so that's you know, something to look forward to. And you know, we don't have a ton of experience with that type of fishing, but you know, we
should give that a try. That maybe that'll be our next episode. We'll see what happens. Either that, or maybe some bottom fishing, or who knows what'll come. But that might be something to try. But the fall time coming up, just to try to give folks something to look for. Well, I say actually before that, even the fall, we got the big redfish coming too. That starts like the end of August to September. The big bull reds were going to start running along the beach as well.
Yeah, we did a really neat show with that last year, where we were catching the great big redfish just right there, you know, within, I don't know, 100 yards of the beach, and you know, around the Little River jetties too. And those fish are anywhere from, you know, 10 to 50 pounds.
That's right.
And that offers another great angling opportunity for folks who, you know, don't want to get too far offshore.
Well, that's an inshore opportunity, and that generally starts in Little River Inlet, is where it, you know, but that doesn't mean it's just that inlet. But the guys traditionally start, the inshore guys will fish in that inlet sometime in the middle to the end of August and start drifting that inlet, which would probably be the same thing that could happen. I know they do it in the Cape Fear, and I would imagine Lockwood and Shallotte inlets, or you know, any of these local inlets would be good for that. And then as the menhaden get thick along the beachfront, then a lot of those larger bull reds will get up in the menhaden schools.
Exactly. And then scattered in with all of this, of course, we've got our king mackerel tournaments that are during all this time. And while the fishing is probably, king mackerel fishing is probably not at its best like it is in the early summer and then again in the fall, there's still tournaments. Somebody's going to win, and there's going to be a big fish caught somewhere. Yep. And so it, you know, it offers a good challenge. And you know, I think a lot of these fish will probably focus our efforts more offshore.
Right. Yeah. Again, just going back to the theory and fishing deep, and you know, on the tournament note, we've got a tournament in Charleston. We're talking about fishing this weekend. It'll already be over by maybe our next show will be able to tell us about winning that tournament. But there's a couple through the month of August and then into early September. And traditionally we do fish in deeper water, 80 to 100 foot of water, because those fish are looking for depth to cool down. But then as soon as the first couple cold fronts come through, the yellow butterflies, we mentioned those, you start seeing them flying around. That is the first signs of fall, and that is when those fish will start to move in. So stuff to look forward to. We got to go shoot some more fishing shows for sure, and I got my mind on a few things, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
All right, well, good deal. Well, I'm looking forward to see what you got in mind.
Yeah,
so we'll go fishing.